Let's jump right in. We're going to talk about a word today that, let's be honest, sounds pretty gloomy: nihilism. But what if I told you we've all been looking at it wrong? We're about to flip the script, put the whole idea on its head. So let's see how it might just be the secret to a less anxious, more free life. Who doesn't want that?
You're scrolling through social media and it just feels like everyone has it figured out. The perfect job, the perfect vacation, the perfect relationship. It creates this constant nagging feeling that maybe you're not keeping up, that you're falling behind in some invisible race. And that feeling, that's exactly where we're going to start. Yeah, exactly. The word itself just lands with a thud. It makes you think of giving up, of believing in nothing, of a world that's just gray. It's usually painted as this super depressing dead end. And you know what? That's a totally fair first impression. So let's make sure we're all on the same page with a definition. At its absolute core, nihilism is a philosophical idea. It's the perspective that there's no big cosmic rulebook, no universal objective meaning that's been handed down to us from on high. And right here, this is where it gets good. What if we've been seeing this from the completely wrong angle? What if the idea that there's no pre-written script for your life isn't a bad thing? What if nothing matters could actually be the most freeing thought you've had all day? So that brings us to section 1, the liberating question. We're going to take that phrase, nothing matters, and reframe it. We're going to see it not as a cause for despair, but as a declaration of freedom. Let's dig into why this shift in thinking is so incredibly powerful. Just look at what this perspective hands you. First off, you're free. Free from the crushing weight of what other people or society think you should be doing. And with that, the fear of failure starts to shrink a lot. If there's no cosmic report card, then a mistake is just a mistake, not some final verdict on your worth. And that, in turn, opens up the best part. You get the chance to decide what meaning and success look like for you. All of this brings you right back to this moment, to the here and now, letting you just enjoy life without worrying if it's important enough. This table just lays it out so perfectly, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the old script, the life of pressure, always chasing some definition of meaning someone else gave you, terrified of messing up, living by rules you didn't even write. But on the other side, that's the new freedom. You're creating your own purpose, you're free to make mistakes, and you get to live a life that actually feels like yours. It's a huge shift from seeking to creating. And this is the central metaphor that I want you to hold on to. Life isn't a book you have to read correctly or a test you have to pass. It's a blank page. And guess what? You're holding the pen. There's no pre-written story you're failing to live up to. There is only the story that you decide to write. How empowering is that? Okay, so this all sounds nice in theory, right? But how do we actually put it into practice? Let's get really practical here. This is section 2, how to practice freedom. I've got a simple 3-step exercise you can try literally today. It really is this simple. Okay, step 1, acknowledge. Just take a second to sit with the idea that there are no guarantees in life. It's not supposed to be scary, it's just a reality check. Step 2, detach. Think of something you're kind of stressed about and ask yourself this amazing question. What if failing at this didn't matter at all? Just feel that pressure lift off your shoulders. And finally, step 3, choose. Go do one thing today, anything, not because it's productive or because you should, but just because you feel like it. That's the practice. You know, in our culture of constant hustle, optimization, and comparison, this whole way of thinking is a pretty radical act. We're always being pushed to achieve more, to be more. This optimistic nihilism gives you permission to just exist, to be here without needing a reason or stamp of approval from the outside world. Let this really sink in for a second. You are officially relieved of your duty to be perfect. You don't have to meet some imaginary cosmic expectation. And you absolutely 100% do not need some grand purpose to live a wonderful, rich, and meaningful life. All right, on to our final section. Section 3, decide what matters. So we've established the page is blank, but where do you even start to write? For that, let's borrow a little bit of wisdom from some people who thought about this stuff a long, long time ago. The Stoic philosopher Seneca knew this 2,000 years ago. I mean, think about how true that is. So much of our stress comes from worrying about things that might happen, from imagining failures that haven't occurred. When you realize there's no cosmic judge watching you, a lot of that imagined suffering just evaporates. And here's another great one from another Stoic, Marcus Aurelius. This is basically the call to action. Stop obsessing about the idea of a good life. Stop endlessly debating what you're supposed to be. Instead, just take the freedom you've been given and act. Be kind, be curious, be present. You get to define what good means by what you do, not by what you worry about. And at the end of the day, this is the whole thing. This is the amazing, surprising gift that nihilism gives us. It isn't despair, it's pure possibility. When you let go of the burden of trying to find some universal meaning out there, you are handed the ultimate freedom, the power to create it for yourself. And so that's the question I want to leave you with. In a universe that demands nothing from you, you get to be the author. You get to be the artist. The pressure is off. The page is totally blank. What will you create?